One of the other keys to Singapore's success, as you pointed out, was that you had an era of American hegemony in the Asia Pacific. You had.
I don't think hegemony is the right word. They were a major power present in the Asia Pacific.
You are putting it more politically correctly than I am. I will let it be noted for the record.
We are very nice to our hegemonists.
But you're entering a different world. China is on a major offensive. If you add up all the projects and spending proposals that China has in the region, I think it amounts to something like $1 trillion. To put that in perspective, the entire Marshall Plan in today's dollars would be about $120 billion. Is in this new era of Chinese prominence, I'm not going to use the word hegemony, do you think that Singapore will have the same ability to succeed and thrive? And will China view Singapore as an American outpost in Southeast Asia?
I think as long as there's peace and security and stability in the world and a place for small countries, we should not be one of the least successful small countries. How much space you will have to decide your own path depends on the strategic balance in the region. And with the Americans, one of the reasons they have been successful and why I raise a small eyebrow when you said hegemony is because despite their dominance, they gave space to other countries. And you could disagree with them, you could argue with them. They do twist your arm sometimes, but they are benevolent hegemonists. And now, whether other great powers take the same approach or whether they will take a purely realpolitik view where the big powers do what they will and the small countries suffer what they must, that's to be seen.
Well, but you know what the Chinese inclination in that regard is. It is much more realpolitik.
The Chinese say that all countries, big and small, will work on basis of equality and mutual respect and benefit.
That's the rhetoric. But the Chinese policy is fairly realpolitik.
Yes, they are. So that is to be seen. But if they do take such a view, there will be a pushback from many countries, and it will be harder for them. So they will have to make their assessments.
Do you feel that China is displeased with Singapore's relationship with the United States? I think about your speech to the Central Party School 2 years ago, in which you were quite blunt to the Chinese about the virtues of America's presence in the Asia Pacific. I think about, for example, China's representation at Lee Kuan Yew's funeral, which was, frankly not adequate to the situation. There seem to be many ways in which the Chinese express a certain degree of displeasure with Singapore.
I would not read too much into attendance at funerals. But I would say that the Chinese are, as you point out, realists. They understand our position. They know why America is important to us. And so they work on that basis. Of course, they would prefer us to speak up more often and more, how shall I put it, in a more closely aligned way with what they would prefer on every single issue. But they understand that we are different countries. It's not possible. I had a conversation with one of them recently, and he was here for a meeting here in Shangri-La, and he said, well, we have great respect for Singapore, and from time to time, our policies don't agree, and you take views which are different from ours, but nevertheless, on a personal point of view, we have great respect for you and your system. So I said, and vice versa too. Because it works both ways. It has to be. We are a country, you are a country, you have your interests and your calculations. I must have my own. We are not the same country. We are not against anybody. We have friends with many countries. We have very good friends with China. In fact, our president is in China right now on a state visit. But from time to time, countries have different perspectives. Even with America, we've had some famous encounters.